Hello, Rachel.
How are you?
I am so proud of us.
Oh, why?
We have gotten to this stage of the podcast in which we have reached the end of a season, and it's always that sense of accomplishment, of following through, as well as that sense of satisfaction of watching a show wrap up some elements.
Yeah. It's the end of a chapter, but they're teeing up a new one. And I guess it's also extra satisfying because this is us finishing the first season of Killjoys. So we're starting fresh with a new show, going back to an older dynamic that we haven't had in a little while of you've watched it, I haven't.
My first time rewatching, your first time ever watching Killjoys. The show is 10 years old, and what a time. So much has changed since then, and so much has remained the same. So many things to look at within this episode that feel rather timely now. So we are here to talk about Escape Velocity. Season 1, episode 10. And I have a description here. It's very hard to summarize an episode like this for two reasons. The obvious being it's a finale, so there's many things to keep track of. And the second reason is it's a Michelle Lovretta script. And Michelle, I think we have determined, she doesn't write easy breezy episodes.
No, they're jam-packed.
Michelle says, is this bag only capable of holding 5 pounds worth of sand? But I have 50. Can I please put it all in there? So what happens in Escape Velocity? Well, the shit hits the fan. Everyone is scrambling. While certain people climb the ranks of power, others are running from it. The team, at the end of the day, is left with a member missing. Yeah. That's my description. I left it like cinematic so we can keep talking.
Wait. But there's no meanwhile.
Oh, sorry. Meanwhile, they got Fancy Lee! The bad guys have Fancy in their clutches.
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah, by the way, people, if you have not watched this episode, please do so because we are discussing it.
That's not what I meant. But like in the summary, you don't usually give away the
this is a very
stinger.
Meanwhile, they got Fancy. Well, I also said that one of the team members by the end of this is missing, so that's also
but
that team member is not Fancy Lee. Well, no, you wanted a meanwhile, and I just threw one out there. I was happy with what I put down.
Oh, I'm happy with what you said.
You are happy to criticize my summaries, and I'm happy to criticize when you get a character's name wrong. So that's our beautiful dynamic. We are married to each other.
You were just looking at me like, aren't you going to say something? And I was like, well, I didn't think you were done because you didn't use a meanwhile.
I looked at you with that sense of satisfaction that you didn't interject to criticize my summary. I was like, I said my summary, and I looked at you with like this little look of pride, like that was my summary. I thought I did a really good job. I thought about it, but I still kept
do a really good job.
But I kept it loose and kept a feel of the cinematic. And then you were like, "Well, add a bit."
No.
Where's your meanwhile? Meanwhile,
I didn't.
Meanwhile,
I didn't mean to.
Okay, I'll fix the meanwhile. Rachel, Rachel, listen to me. Listen to me. Don't look around me. Shut up. Meanwhile,
Please.
Well, if you just let me rip the Band-Aid off, it'll be done. Meanwhile, Pre grabs the good booze. There you are. That's not a spoiler. That's just, a fact. Meanwhile, Pre grabs the good stuff from the bar.
Ew.
As I have broken Rachel with my amazing summary, that was too good. It was too good.
The yum yum laugh of the episode for you?
Well, I think it's me making you break down.
No.
Well, how about you catch your breath and you inform us of what the yum yum laugh is and what you found.
The yum yum laugh is the moment in the episode that made us laugh and feel the yum yum.
You sound like you're about to cry.
My yum yum laugh was Johnny, which is no surprise.
He had so many lines.
He has a lot of great lines in this episode. But I've picked "They better hurry up, I'm freezing my monk junk."
That was very good. I had a Johnny line. Mine was, "I'm Johnny Jacoby, stop licking my partner."
Yeah.
That made me guffaw. But I have to shout out
The bitch count?
the bitch count. There is a rich bitch line drop. There's only one bitch in this episode. They restrain themselves. But I needed to shout. Yeah. I have to mention, though, although it wasn't a hilarious line, it was a hilarious line delivery.
The bye?
The bye when Dulcea calls in her favor and demands that they come over to her. She ends the call with a bye. And it's just so exaggerated, so campy, but not too much. And she has several more line deliveries of pretty mundane lines, but she just adds that extra mustard to it and gives this character so much more to them. And so I wanted to praise that element. But Rachel, you like to count something important as well.
No nut shots in this episode. No, even like almost nut shots.
Are you disappointed that the show has evolved to such a place where they are no longer kicking people in the genitals every episode?
Well, it was just a couple.
It was like the first 3.
Yeah.
And then they stopped once you said, "I'm going to count it now."
Yeah. I might have to retire it.
We'll bring it back when it happens in an episode. We'll be like, "Oh, Return of the Nut Shot. There was 3 in one episode and a cunt punt. Rarity, but we got one." That's my biggest question. Do you think by the end of the series there will be a cunt punt?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. But I think we are going to get other references to Dutch's ovaries.
Rio, was it your ship the scavs shot down? Rattled an ovary or two, but nothing I can't shimmy back into place.
This episode, as already mentioned, was written by the showrunner, the creator, Michelle Lovretta, and we've talked about her career before. We've gotten a taste of what her writing style is, but now here we are at the end of the season and she caps us off. I want to know, what do you feel about Michelle's style and how did it work for you or not with this episode?
It worked fairly well for me, but it's weighted down but not burdened by like all of the things that it's trying to do.
I admire that she has such trust for the other writers to have the slow down moments, the more characterful moments, so that when she comes in and gives us this hit of adrenaline, it's earned. Because there is many characterful things in this episode, but this is, and her episodes in general, are about hitting those high points. But I would love to see in the future an episode from her that's maybe a bit of a slower pace. I want to know what her style is when it comes to taking a breather with these characters a bit more, because we've seen other writers do that.
I would love to see a Michelle Bottle episode of Killjoys.
Now, the director of this episode, now who is this person? Because this is the finale, so they often bring someone in who can deliver the goods. Like you gotta have your pilot be as good as it can be, and you gotta have the finale be as good as it can be. So who directed this?
Ken Garotti directed this, and this is the only episode of Killjoys that he directed. But he has a long career in television, 102 credits on IMDb for directing as of the recording of this episode. And he started his career with The Littlest Hobo.
He is by far the most prolific and maybe versatile director that we've had to talk about. It is with almost no exaggeration to say, if it's a show, he has directed it. He has worked from classics to obscure to mainstays. He's done Daredevil. He did Vikings. If you go back...
Orphan Black,
of course. If you go back to the early days of his career, he's doing the usual contenders like your Stargates. And then he's also doing Relic Hunter, of course, Xena... he's doing all of these classics, but also...
love that he did an episode of Burn Notice, because I always like reminding myself that show existed.
That was a fun show. That was a good show. I enjoyed that show. But he has so many pieces of TV under his belt. Like, he does TV. I don't think he's really done movies.
No.
The most I can see in his work that he did was he did 14 episodes of Vikings. Like, that there is probably
the longest
stint he's been on a show. Usually everything else spans from 1 to 6 episodes, but I thought his style was serviceable in this. There was no moments of show-offiness. I think that what he brought to the table was good, lingering moments. There's so many action set pieces here. There's fast fight scenes, but the moments that stood out was when the camera just took a step back and just captured a scene. The stillness of the episode is what really hits with you with this one in particular. And I think he really captured those quiet moments of dread.
Yeah, I agree. And it was nice to have that balance, because the episode plot is so full on.
This is a big episode. So, obviously, there's a lot to talk about and there's a lot to think about. I liked this episode. I thought it was very, very good. It delivers what you need of it. It has enough answered, but enough raised in terms of the questions. It was also surprising how funny it was. For an episode that has been following up a lot of dramatic pieces, with quips, of course, but a lot of dramatic pieces, this one was like 50-50 in terms of drama and comedy.
Yeah, and they were woven together in scenes. It wasn't like tonal whiplash scene to scene. Like, it was embedded in there, which I feel like is something that I also expect from Michelle Lovretta script for this show.
What should we discuss first about this episode?
You know, let's get theological about it, right? Let's talk about faith.
It is something talked about and demonstrated in this episode, but it's also been in the season. We are recording our reactions to watching the show. That can be found on our Patreon and on our YouTube. But I mention that because I offhandedly said, in a slightly snide way, that this episode is about faith. And that got you very upset because it makes us think about how modern Star Trek uses that as
Discovery.
No, Picard as well.
No, but for me, it's Discovery that traumatized me to faith in Sci-Fi. Picard, I have managed to repress most of that bullshit.
And there's a difference between religious way of looking at faith and faith in a broader sense. And this episode is looking at both of those things. But I say that because you reacted very poorly to that, because when we covered Star Trek, modern Star Trek, Discovery in particular, they club you over the head with their version of faith. But it's infuriating because it does not feel like they have any points of view on what faith is to the show or to the characters. And I wanted to know, since this episode talks about it a lot, what do you think the show and this episode is getting at when it comes to faith?
I am not too sure what it's getting at, because it feels like it is exploring the options at this stage, especially with the conversations that we've been having with and about Alvis. Like, he obviously is a touch point in the show for religion. He's a monk. He got introduced as God. And he is a leader amongst the Scarback monks. And the show has been playing with what religion does for people and to people, and how is that a service or a disservice? And do we need religion, or what need does this religion fulfill?
Faith is also not something exclusively religious. Alvis is more than just a religious icon and leader. He also has faith in the human condition, that we can be better, that we have to tear down the structures that keep us in place. He is fighting for a worthier cause than just religious dogma. And that's also something that the episode wants to grab you by the shoulders and let you really think about. It wants to shake you and just say, when we say faith in this show and in this episode, we're not only talking about religion. Johnny is a character that is being looked at and asked, do you have faith? What is your faith? Or are you worthy of having any faith?
And in this episode, it's very direct in the way that it addresses that the person doesn't decide whether they're a true believer or not.
It's their actions. It's their way of interacting with the world. They may doubt themselves, but what they have put into the world at large and to the people around them and to society and on it goes, that speaks more to the cause of what they're looking at and what they're really wanting to drive at. Like, Johnny is a bit directionless in this back half of the season. All of these things that he's had faith in have been tested.
Mm-hmm.
And he has lost a bit of it, but has he lost all of it?
Yes, and we had that big shift of him being like, I'm not fixing things for people anymore. And now he's thrust into this plot where he is fixing something on a much bigger scale.
Then also, when he does partake in it, or when he does throw himself into a mission with his brother and his friend, he can't help but be moved by this faith within himself.
Oh, didn't know you had a scarback fetish, you kinky bastard.
Shut up. Watched Elvis give a blessing once. Read up on scarbacks a bit after. You know, for pain freaks, we believe some fairly beautiful shit.
Not gonna try to convert me, are you?
I get enough masochism just being your brother, thank you.
We pick up from where we left off. The attack at the Leith Bazaar, in which a bunch of Scarback monks shot up the place.
I feel like I get why they did that flashback so that we could see it, but also it felt weirdly tacked on, and like I got it. Like, I never believed that it was real Scarback monks, and it's like, why would they wear their robes but wear stockings over their heads?
Well, they don't want to be caught, Rachel. No one would look for the Scarback monks.
No, because it's not gonna.
Well, yeah, it's an obvious false flag attack, as they point out.
It, like even more clear that Hills is in on it.
Well, he wasn't in on that.
Oh, no, like he wasn't part of the plan, but he was part of it. We're going to peg this on Alvis.
He's complicit. That's a part of his character. And Alvis has been forced to give a confession because they threatened the rest of the Order, so he is martyring himself.
And non-consensual violence.
Yeah,
he's not into.
He found out he's not into non-consensual violence as he's covered in blood and bruises. They force the confession. They're going to execute him as well for his terrorist acts. And that makes Dutch stop everything she's doing. There's so many things that she and Team Awesome Force have to deal with. But she says, no, saving Alvis is now put at the top of the list because he is important.
History.
And because of their relationship, which we don't know much about and we haven't seen much of it in the show. So it's one in which, how do you take that statement overall? Like, do you take it in, good faith of the show will eventually get around to it, or is that just a little bit of a lazy trick just to get from route A to route B to route C?
Yeah.
Because they haven't demonstrated much of a rapport or relationship between the two characters. They have a history, but we haven't really been given much between those two specifically.
No. We kind of got a little bit of like Dutch and Johnny with him to start with when we first met him. And then I feel like we had a little bit of him with Davin. No, it must have just been kind of like them dealing with him a little bit as like a team, and then Johnny's episode with him, and then Davin's interactions last episode.
Yeah, basically. They've used him to get information, like where are these nuns at?
Yeah.
But that's transactional.
Yeah, we really have no idea of the depth of Dutch's relationship with him, because it's just like they've got history, but like we understood so much from her interactions with her old mentor, and that had purpose, it had weight. So this does feel like, oh, that's convenient, and oh, it feels a bit hollow.
Well, they try to fill it in by having the interactions in this episode bolster those statements. They've been friendly in the past, and she's been more of a defender of Alvis when there's been shit talking. So it's not completely out of the blue, but to have it be said like, oh, my dynamic with, like, to Hills, oh, how I am with Alvis. It's just one of those lines to imply stuff. And if you're taking it, if you're on the show's wavelength and you're willing to give it a chance, then you can say, well, they're building. We can go somewhere with this. But it would have been great if we had some more between these two characters, because what do you get out of their relationship in this episode? What do you feel about the two of them and how they talk to one another and how they look at one another and how they go out of their way for one another?
Mm-hmm. like, the character dynamics and their relationship with each other in our triad or Team Awesome Force, as you have now adopted.
They got named it by Turin.
They have probably some kind of sexual history, not necessarily romantic. That's what I think this episode is showing.
Dutch goes out of her way for Alvis. She meets him in jail. She gives him the prayer beads, which he then uses later as a method of escape. She goes undercover with Johnny and Davin as Scarback monks to talk to his intel, to his network, go into the city of rats and talk to the rat people.
I find weird that they call themselves rats too.
Well, it's like how in B5 they also call themselves lurkers. So it's like, well, okay. But yeah, it's a city of the homeless and the disenfranchised, hustlers, entrepreneurs,
illegals.
wanderers, the illegals. And they are a bunch of grimy, tough people, but they are believers of the faith, of the religion, and they want the people pretending to be these monks to show off that they're actually real, because these people, these rats, know that it was a false flag attack. They have the IDs of the real people who did it. They know that the monks would never do such a thing. So these 3 people dressed up as monks, after 3 people dressed up as monks attacked a place, showing up out of the blue, it looks awfully suspicious. So the City of Rats is a group that says, well, prove it. And Johnny proves it because he gave the prayer, the chant, the credo of
that
the faith.
We watched him watch Alvis do.
And that proves it. And he says it with real conviction in his voice. I think that's what makes it better, because I did joke when we watched it. It's like, oh, he just recited the Lord's Prayer and that should make you know that he is in fact religious. It's like, well, no. You heard these people chant this on the streets in the first episode, so it's not as if you can't not know this.
We've heard the Roots one a lot. And the roots grew.
Do you have any thoughts on all of that stuff? We've had it be something constant there.
I like how it's been, seeded throughout. Helps flesh out the world. Give some contrast to the world and to our characters.
It's a neat sci-fi thing as well. Like, their religion is all about this specific tree that connected everyone together, and like the roots, and there's a lot of symbolism in what they're talking about there, and then how this specific religion then looks at the masochism and the sharing of blood and how that ties into the whole tree symbolism. I think it's pretty well done, but they're tracking down what this false flag attack was really about. Meanwhile, Del Sayo says, hello, I'm in the show again. Did you know that I'm in this show?
Dutch.
I'm going to hit you up. You owe me that favor.
I'm going to enter in a robe and my underwear, and you're going to help me get dressed.
Bye.
Bye.
What a scamp.
We had so much fun with her this episode.
Because she was having fun.
Yeah.
The first episode, we had to see her play politics. And we got to see her be on the back foot at the end. And not only be pissed off, but find admiration for Dutch and be interested.
Playing with Dutch.
And now she has the
She's like,
Dutch under her thumb.
a new toy.
She's so turned on.
So horny for Dutch.
You're far too clever to break a sacred treaty without good reason. People would blame you for the upheaval resulted. You like being many things, Saya. Accountable isn't one of them. See, this is why I like you on my arm. So pretty. And so smart.
It's just so much fun, Jan. It's just so much fun to see her having fun at toying with them and making the most out of this fucking awful situation where thousands of people are gonna die, and she's just like, oh,
TV.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just being obviously villainous and evil now because I've won.
Oh,
bitch.
did I do something bad?
She is just thrilled to be able to have a coup.
Yeah.
I love that bit where it's like, what's going on? I'm doing a coup.
Mm-hmm.
She does say something interesting. So the deal with Delsayer in this episode, as we mentioned, the 9 are going through a vote to remove the rights of the 7th Jenners to get their land on Kresh. And that's a big deal. That's going to affect many people. There's going to be uprisings about that. And she gets the genetic bomb weapon from earlier, and she uses it to wipe out her opponents. The others just completely fry them. So there are still members of the 9, but the ones that were allies and loyal to her, which includes Potter's family. They're friends. They're lovely people. They see eye to eye with me. So she wipes people out because she wants ultimate power, but she reveals something too, which is Klein told her to do all of this.
Yeah. I am a little surprised by like them having they got the genetic bomb back, because Klein was so pissed about the company ending up with it, and we don't really get an explanation of how he got it back.
The
but it's
company
just like,
run the 9. I mean, the 9 run the company in the
Yeah.
end, so he probably struck up a deal with her specifically so that they could...
But if,
play around.
like, was he planning to just do the coup without her knowledge before that? I don't know.
Well, she indicates that at least. Like, his plan was to set this in motion, like, for Old Town to be flattened.
Yes, like that definitely
to get us
feels
ready
like it
for
was-
what's coming. Like, she
Yeah.
also has that attitude of, like, get ready for what's coming.
I was like, this isn't what's coming? Okay. Okay, I thought that this was gonna be it, but I guess it's more than this, because I thought it was like the Rack interfering to, keep the status quo, because, the 7th Jenners can't get their plots on Leith.
Leaf.
Leaf.
Now, let me tell you, it's called Leith, Rachel. Like
Leith.
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 Can we say it some more times? Leith.
I just always go to say Leaf.
How much control does Klein actually have over this situation?
I don't think he has much control. I just think he has a lot of influence.
But he has a plan, and we need to follow through on the plan.
Yes.
And if people just did what he said, then everything would be fine. Delsayer, do what I say. Cash in your favor. Like, that's the thing. She cashed in her favor to fulfill a desire for Klein. That's what she did.
I think that
It
that
even
might
makes-
be a part of the agreement that he made with her.
Yeah.
Of, like, you need to make sure the Dutch is not in Old Town
When this happens. That's what
and
she
you get
says.
the
Yeah.
bomb. Yeah.
But then someone tries to brutally fucking murder Dutch, and that doesn't seem like something Klein wants.
No, as a fellow level 6, because that means that they're on par with Klein. They're not scared of him.
And does that mean he doesn't have control over the level 6 stuff?
Mm-hmm.
from this, like from what we saw in the other episodes, he was Mr. I am level 6. I'm the alpha male here. I'm the top dog. And
Yeah.
I want you to be safe. You are my weakness. You are, like she says, I'm your weakness and all that. In this episode, he pulls all of these strings so that she's off world, but then just a rogue element thrown in. This guy comes in and he's just gonna straight up kill Dutch, and that there shows you that as Machiavellian as people like Delcea and Klein are, they don't have complete control.
Mm-hmm. It's an imperfect system, even for them.
I found it hilarious that when Delcea reveals her true colors, that they're going to attack Westerly, they're going to bomb Old Town, they're going to sugar point it, as they say, Johnny is like, wait a moment. Why would she do that? Why would she frame the monks for this crime? And it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's very obvious. Like, there are a few moments like that in this episode where it's just like, you fucking know why you're saying that out loud for the audience.
They don't need to. They perfectly laid it out.
That's
They perfectly laid it out. You've already explained it in the show. There were a couple of moments, as said, where they needed to drag the audience through the mud of the complexity of the plan when really it wasn't that complex.
nah.
It was suitably complex.
Yeah, but it's like it had its through line. What helps that be forgiven and helps the plot make sense is that we have such a good understanding of all of these characters. And that includes Porter. And it's interesting the way that she's folded into this episode.
She reveals to Johnny that she is a part of the Nine, that she
Yeah.
is a child of the Nine. Yes, I'm a really rich princess. Let's move past that. She asks if he could send word to her family and to give them a message and all this stuff, and she doesn't expect much in the ways of that, and she was right. The mother doesn't even acknowledge having a daughter, so there's that. And Johnny lies to her and is clearly lying, and she knows it, and she calls it out that, oh no, they love you and they said all of this and they're proud and they miss you. You're a good man, Johnny. Don't be a liar. Like, just don't.
You're a better man than you are a liar. And I really liked that line because that does say a lot about Johnny.
The episode goes in on what Alvis has been saying throughout the season so far, which is you will eventually have to pick a side. You will eventually have to choose what you're going to stand up for and fight for. And Potter is one of the characters that does that. There is the moment in which people can get on the ship and fly away, or people can stay and hope to live and rebuild. And she stays. She's going to go with the Scarback monk. She's going to go with these people. She's going to offer her skills as the doctor.
Because they need a doctor. And it's interesting to see her do that because it's another example of how in this show they have shown that she enjoys being a doctor to these people now. She likes being able to help them when other people won't. And it's not a like, oh, I get to be the savior of these poor people kind of thing. It's no, these are people and they deserve medical care.
She's found her place. She had her last-ditch attempt to reconnect with her family, her home, her place. And then it was confirmed that she'll never be
It's not
able...
her place
It's
anymore.
not her place, it's not her family. These people, this group, this place, this is where she belongs. She's going to stay there. She's not going to go on the ship. She's going to stay here because this is where she belongs. And she is the outsider that's accepted that she's a part of the inside now. Because in this episode, we have Davin and Dutch and Johnny still talk about, we're not from here, by the way. We don't have to worry about quad politics. The quad dream, that doesn't really affect us. The quad, this isn't our home. And we have that conversation throughout of like, no, I'm choosing my team. That's what I'm choosing. But Potter, she's the character who is also from outside of the place that she's in. And now she realizes, why am I resisting that? Why am I longing for being elsewhere when really this is what I am supposed to do? This is where I'm supposed to be. This is who I am supposed to be.
I have to stay.
Sweetie, no.
They'll need a doctor with them.
We don't even know if those bunkers will open.
But we know my family's part of the reason we're all down here.
It is not your fault.
Hey, Doc, if you're coming, we gotta move.
Those were the things that I think worked the best, were these little small journeys, like with Hills, a character who, when we first met him, he was the company man. He's been the representation of the company. This older gentleman who's just coasting by, says, don't sweat the politics, don't think about it, just do what you're told. And by the end of this episode and this season, we see that mentality be challenged so much. We see him coping throughout the episode. He's drinking all of the time. He's given evidence, and he just says, I'm not kicking that up. What's the point?
Yep.
And that reaches a breaking point eventually,
yes,
his attitudes.
Because I appreciated so much that he has such a clear story arc in this season. We meet him and it is challenged that he's a Westerlin that's working for the company. So he's working against his own people on behalf of the corporation that controls everything and does not have their interests in mind.
But he's doing that for his family.
Yes.
Who are now getting those rights taken from them by the company and by the Nine.
Yes.
But at the end of this episode, I think they make it pretty clear that his moral convictions, because we find out he's the one that pulled the emergency alarm before the bombers got there, so people had some time to evacuate and to flee.
Trying to save some people. He couldn't save everybody.
Not even himself.
But he wasn't willing to let everybody die.
But yeah, what I was going to say is they make it very clear that comes from within and not because, I've been screwed over by the establishment because they've taken my family's rights away. No, we see in this episode that he does have this underneath all of the cynicism and world weariness and I'm just following orders. And that's what Dutch says to him. It's like, when is the time? This is it. You've done your bit, now do more. Let us pass, let us get to the ship, and let us do what we can. And it has been a quiet, slow arc in the show, but I like it. I think there's so much there to this character that has been the face of the evil organization. It shows you that just because it's a science fiction show where there's an evil organization literally called the company doesn't mean all of the people in it are just two-dimensional fascist villains.
Yeah, it's not as easy as that, and they've made that blatantly clear throughout the whole show. So having that cathartic moment of Hills throwing off the shackles of being a company man, but that also meaning that he signed his own death warrant and that it won't change the tide either.
The episode does pull the trigger on the villains winning, or at least succeeding in parts of their plans. Old Town is hit. The Royal, we don't know the fate of it. You made the predictions like, I think something's going to happen to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
All we see at the moment is the windows are blown out from an explosion outside. But Pri is heartbroken. We got him a little bit in this episode, but the standout moment was him not wanting to leave the bar, and that it's more than just a bar.
I thought that the moment where he doesn't want to let Porter go with Alvis and the other people to the bunker,
and that they hug each other as a goodbye as well, was very good.
I think that was a really solid moment too, and another a specific example of how this director lingers on certain moments and it makes them more effective.
And there's like a hopelessness. There's a sense of like, I'm seeing it from afar and there's nothing you can do, but you still feel like the atrocity is happening. And that's what Dutch is going through. She's looking at this throughout the whole episode and throughout the whole season. This is just a place that I'm aware of. Like this is not her home. She's an outsider, but you can't help but see on her face just the realization, like, that
place has meant something to her. And it was a place where she built a life that she was proud of, that she was happy with. And now Klein has entered back into her life, and the physical place of that is now also destroyed beyond recognition.
And as far as she knows, and as far as we know, it's for the greater good. There's some more reasonable explanation for why such
this
systematic
is
violence
help in the long run in the world of Killjoys somehow.
But then
you're just like, well, what the fuck is that gonna look like?
But when you see
is it going to benefit the actual people there, or is it going to benefit the company, the Nine, or the Rack?
Or Klein? And it's all good to hear momentarily from Dulcea or Klein or others say, well, no, this is justifiable. This is a calculated risk. This needs to be done because we have bigger things at play. But you intercut that with the people on the streets looking up into the sky, realizing that there's no point in running anymore because it's too late for them.
With his sister was one that got me.
Yeah, and Hills in the bar and Dutch looking down. There's this acceptance, but also resignation in the fact that there's nothing you can do about this.
It's important to have that balance, like in terms of the plot, but also the visual balance as well.
Klein is so desperate that he is willing to go to this place that he knows will be bombed because he needs that green goo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just think about that. That even further goes into not everything is under his control. Not everything is going to his wonderful plan.
He's so preoccupied with that he doesn't stop Carlene's analysis, which is why Johnny gets the information that he does at the end of this episode, which we don't get to know the details of.
Does he care? To him, like, does it even matter if they get that information? Or does he want them to get that? Or is he unaware completely that she has it scheduled in?
I don't think he cares. Because he was clearly listening to that whole conversation. I think it was, that's not a priority. I need that goo. So, like, that's his single mission right now. Because in the interactions that we've seen with him, he's very pointed and single-minded about things. Like, it's all part of bigger plans, but it's like one task at a time.
The character is mysterious. We don't know what he's working towards, but we still know
what his part in that whole process is.
But we know who he is from what they show of him. when we talk about like what is a moment, what is a line, what is a beat of a character that sums them up to you. Like Fancy Lee has the designated arsehole speech, and that makes you understand everything you need to know about his character, right? What is it with Klein? And I can only speak for myself. I'd love to know your thoughts. I think it's just how he is presented visually from the actor. Like, he's so dignified. He wears these outfits. He has, we always joke he's the fancy-haired man, but there is something to it. The fancy hair, that's this facade, because when he's interacting with Davin, we see him go into this berserker mode rage. This almost primal, animalistic thing. And then he'll just snap back to refined, I'm doing this for a good purpose. But then he'll be snarky, and then it'll be this. But it's always back to like his neutral expression is like, I'm dignified. Yeah. You have to listen to me.
And that's reminiscent of the way that it was when Davin was activated.
But this is something this is just a part of who this character is. And casting is important. This is an older gentleman. He's tall, he's lean, and he does look refined, but you also have to buy into that he's scary. That he can take someone like Davin down. Because Davin's like he's a buff guy, he's a huge guy, and he's a good soldier, and he could whoop your ass. You have to believe that Klein can whoop his ass, and they do that very well.
Yes. It's always fun seeing him get his ass kicked, because we see him be so confident, but him being cocky and getting punished for it was really fun to watch.
Klein tries to come across as if he's above these petty emotions, but then we see he relishes in inflicting pain.
Klein's such a fascinating villain for this show to have, because it is about the past haunting our characters, but also the impending doom of the future as well. And it's interesting to see how they've teed that up for the next season with Klein.
Had to watch her put her life in danger over and over to help you and your brother. She needs me back in her life to protect her from the mediocrity of you.
We've had many problems with Davin throughout the season, but we've also really warmed to him.
Yeah.
I'm sad to report he pissed me off in this episode so much by being Mr. Dumbass.
Yeah, it's just, convenient. Like, it's like, yes, that's within the realm of possibility, but also he should know better. He should know better. We've seen him do better. And I get the justification that he might be trying to prove himself a little bit, but it's not enough. It's not good. Not good enough.
What does he do that makes him such a
He goes
dummy?
after Klein.
Told not to do that.
Ignores it, tells Dutch that he's ignoring it, and goes and does it anyway. Gets his ass fucking kicked, and now he's going to be turned into some fucking super soldier weapon bullshittery.
Isn't that just Davin though? He just can't help but get
He can't help but be a soldier.
He can't help but get himself involved in some weird sci-fi super enhancement project of some sort. He fell into it once. Okay, understandable. Twice? Like, it's weird that it happened twice for him.
Yeah.
So he got captured by Klein. The other two, they don't know where he is. They don't know. They're unsure. Johnny has faith that he has made it out, that he has found somewhere to hide. He believes in his brother.
Yep. And then Dutch is like, Klein has him.
I just know it, that he has him. And she has this recorded message that she's going to send out to Davin of like, we're going to find you.
Yeah.
We don't know where you are.
It's on loop.
But we are out there. I like the bit where Lucy's like, he's not responding. She's like, shut up. Shut the fuck. And just shutting up.
Yeah, that was cute.
Again, good moments of injecting levity in some really heartfelt and serious beats of the story. Like, they know how to inject the moments of humor and levity without it undercutting the more dramatic and serious and poignant things.
True. And that's not a balance that Killjoys has always managed to strike. This episode brings up Sugar Point, and in Sugar Point Run, we did not like
how that did it.
How that handled the balance. The reveal that, Davin is in Red 17, which is a building seemingly where they are making level 6s, and that's on the moon that everybody thought was uninhabitable.
The City of Rats knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
They were aware about this, but everyone underestimates them. The moon that they initially tried to terraform, and it was a disaster. Here's a secret base, Red 17. We get a big
but it seems like
wide shot of it as they zoom out.
All of these different... It's like, it's not just like, oh, that's Red 17. It seems like there's, lots of different sections, and number 17 is just one of them.
We have the big zoom out, and we see more of the moon and more of the flattened landscape in front of Red 17, and there's like a pulsing green light coming from it.
Yeah. Grace.
But what's happening at Red 17? I want to know what's happening there and your thoughts on what Davin has found himself in.
I think he's about to be genetically modified in a variety of ways. I'm imagining a Deadpool origin kind of story.
Making super enhanced people.
Yeah. And they do different things to different people with different ability based on their abilities and predisposition and that kind of stuff. They either get chosen for their potential benefits or their modifications accentuate those things, because that just seems logical to me in terms of this part of the rack of they're building up the best arsenal that they can, and it costs a lot in resources and time to make a level 6, it seems like. So they wouldn't want 2 bombs of the same kind necessarily.
And they're doing it against their will.
Seemingly, yeah. And I'm wondering if the green goo is a consequence of the so-called failed terraforming. And that's why the base is there. Or if it's something else.
It matters enough for Klein to risk his own safety and life to go get a small vial of it.
Yeah, because it seems like his computer interface won't work properly without that little bit of goo.
But it's also something you can put in people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot there, and they got fancy. He seems out of it. There's a lot of like screaming in the distance you can hear. Johnny gets
silhouette of somebody having a procedure or being tortured.
You see that Johnny gets the information that has like a DNA strand and there's like a highlight on it, and he's like, oh my god. We got told by Baelish that there's rumors that they do like genetic splicing and this and this and this. So yeah, we've been given enough breadcrumbs throughout the show. Any thoughts on it, though? Anything else? Like, how do you react to this? Are you satisfied with what they've done here? Or are you annoyed that we didn't get a more of a definitive answer?
No, I'm not. I'm not too bothered by that. I am interested to see what They do, but I'm not excited by it. Because, as we've been over many times, super soldiers in sci-fi are typically not great. So, I don't have a whole lot of faith in that idea. But, like leading into those future plans is a part of what a finale that's not like a series finale should do. So it is good that that's here, and it's important that it's here. But it does make me kind of sad that I'm not more interested in that. Like, it is way more the character stuff that makes this, spoiler, a good finale for me. But is it a good one for you?
I think it's a very good finale. It brings in so many things that the season has brought up. It ties a bow on some of them, but also leaves enough for others to be ongoing. On our rating system of Yum being bad and Yum Yum being good, there are some quibbles with this episode.
Yeah, but it's not enough to make it a yum for me. So it's a yum yum.
Yum yum.
They move at such a fast pace, but also know when to stop and to reflect. So I give this episode a yum yum.
Yum yum.
That is our discussion for this episode and for the first season so far of Killjoys. We will be back next. We will be back next time to do a recap of the season. Talk about the highs, the lows, reflect on it.
That will be out shortly. But if you are listening to this on the main feed and you are eager for more of that yummy content, hit up the Patreon. We have a extensive back catalog. Hundreds of hours of content there that has never seen the light that is outside of the Patreon vault.
Everything's released there first. We have our full, unedited, raw reactions to the episodes as we watch them. There's been a lot of fun discussions on the group Discord, so please make sure to check that out.
If you just pop in for a little bit.
Pop in.
And check out.
Do what you can. We greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Share the show around. Make sure to give us a rating and review. You can contact us more directly on our email, which is
yumyumpod@gmail.com.
We have a presence on all of the social medias and all of the podcasting sites, so you will easily find us, yumyumpod or yumyumpodcast. But is there anything else you want to say?
Now, just Papa needs a drink.